Hello, everyone. I'm Professor Donna Chirico, the chair of the Department of Health and Behavioral Sciences in the School of Health and Behavioral Sciences. I really want to welcome everyone today to the 6th annual Convocation of Dean's List students. These are the students who have completed at least 12 course credits during the spring 2011 and fall 2011 terms with a minimum GPA of 3.25 for the spring and 3.5 for the fall term. There were 899 of you in the spring 2011. There were 331 of you in the fall 2011. And there are 233 of you who made the Dean's List both semesters. Present here today to congratulate you on your achievement are the vice presidents, deans, department chairs, and faculty, as well as your fellow students and guests. I'd like to introduce them to you now, and I just ask that you hold your applause till the end since we have a rather long list of acknowledgments. Dr. Provost Griffith, the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. Not going to stand? Oh, you're going to wave? Oh, hold up! You weren't listening. Yet I know you made the Dean's List. Ms. Christina Gard, representing York Scholars. Ms. Murshida Islam, Vice President for Student Government. Ms. Reino Rafley, a graduate of York, class of 2007. Dr. Panayotis Melitis, the Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Lynn Clark, Dean of the School of Health and Behavioral Sciences. Dr. Alfred Ntoko, Dean of the School of Business and Information Systems. Dr. Holga Henke, Assistant Provost. Dr. Geneva Walker Johnson, Vice President of Student Development. Dr. Thomas Gibson, Associate Dean of Student Development. Now the chairs in the School of Health and Information Systems. Dr. Olajide Oladipo, Department of Business and Economics. And the chairs in the School of Arts and Sciences. Professor Timothy Amrine, Department of Performing and Fine Arts. Dr. Linda Grasso, Department of English. Dr. Lawrence Johnson, Department of Chemistry. Dr. Frank Pritchard, Department of Mathematics and Computer Science. Dr. Fabiola Salek, Department of Foreign Languages, ESL, and Humanities. Dr. Laura Fishman, Department of History and Philosophy. Dr. Stanley Schleifer, Department of Earth and Physical Sciences. Dr. Margaret McNeil, Department of Biology. And for the chairs in the School of Health and Behavioral Sciences, Dr. Giler Acker, Department of Social Sciences. Dr. David Ajuluchukwu, Department of Health and Physical Education and Gerontological Studies, and who's gracious enough to host us today here in the gym. Dr. Linda Michelle Barron, Department of Teacher Education. Dr. Robert Brugner, Department of Health Professions. Dr. Lillian Kaplan, representing Andrea Krause for the Department of Occupational Therapy. And then we have Professor Joki Kenyati, our Chief Librarian, Ms. Brunilda Amaldovar, Director of the Scholarship Office, Mr. Michelle Hodge, Executive Director of Enrollment Management. Let's welcome everyone and thank them. The first speaker today is Dr. Provost Griffith, our Provost, who will offer his thoughts to you on academic excellence. Provost.
Now, let's begin with a better round of applause than that for the Provost. Come on. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Great. That's the kind of response we like. I want to begin by welcoming all, not only our students who are on the Dean's List, but members of the family, or faculty or staff colleagues who are here to help celebrate this occasion with you. Also want to thank Dean Melitis and his team of faculty, staff, and students for organizing this. An event like this just doesn't happen. It takes meticulous planning, it takes delivery to make it happen. So a round of applause to the people who have organized and have had this delivered here for us. I want to spend just 1 minute conveying some thoughts to our Dean's List students. But I'd like to spend a half a minute talking about other people. And in order for me to talk about these other people, and you'll know in a minute who these other people are, I want an opportunity to give $100 to any student who thinks himself or herself as an outstanding student that would like to leave today with $100. Anyone in the audience, any of our students, not faculty and staff, would like to take away $100 today? Good. Here is how you're going to earn this $100. It says $100, and it's not Guyanese or Jamaican, it's US. If any of you can tell us a little bit about Isaac Newton, anything you know about the scientist Isaac Newton, you'll get this envelope. Going once, going twice. Dean's List students should be up there coming to get his $100. Nobody knew about Isaac Newton? Deans and faculty, okay, stand up and tell us. The apple fall in his head, the law of gravitational. Good, good. Come on up here, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your name, tell us your major, and most importantly, tell us one of your favorite professors.
Awesome.
Come, use the mic, use the mic.
My name is Kenneth. My major is economics. I graduated already. And my favorite professor was Tom Moore, I think. You know, he was actually a really good professor.
Good. Well, here is what we'll do. We'll allow you to take this envelope and give it to Tom Moore and tell him you've earned $100. He needs to give it to you.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Round of applause for this. Now, if Tom Moore wants to make it more than $100, he's free to do that, but $100 is the minimum you deserve for that achievement. Now, why am I referring to Isaac Newton? I like to refer to Isaac Newton not so much because he was a distinguished scientist and mathematician, but because he was a kind of quirky scientist who had a running battle with several other scientists in the 17th century. And there was a guy, one of his peers, he had this running battle with a guy called Robert Hooke. And in a very lengthy letter to Robert Hooke in 1675, Isaac Newton said something that really allows me to focus on these other people. And here is what he said. If I have seen further, it's because I stood on the shoulders of giants. Robert Hooke was poking fun at his achievements, and he was saying, it's not only credit to me. Part of my achievements' credit goes to the giants on whose shoulders I've stood. Some of those giants were before him. Some of those giants were his contemporaries. And I use that to say to our students in the Dean's List, the fact that you have achieved the Dean's List recognition means that not only have you achieved excellence, but it also means that you've stood on the shoulders of giants. And it's important that you recognize those giants, and it's important that you acknowledge those giants. And I'll tell you who some of those giants are. Some of those giants are your professors. Give them a round of applause. Some of those giants are your librarians, your counselors, your advisors, the secretaries in departments that help to make your success meaningful. Give them a round of applause. Some of the giants of students are parents and grandparents who tend to be taken for granted. You need to give those giants a round of applause. You need to not take them for granted. And some giants are your pastors, your rabbis, your pundits, your imams, your coaches. Know that when you celebrate an achievement, that achievement was not singularly yours. It was yours because people made a contribution to it. And my word of advice is never overlook those contributions, never overlook your giants. Why don't we give a collective round of applause to all the giants of all our students on the Dean's List. Now, let me just offer one or two bits of advice to our students who are on the Dean's List. The fact that you have been on the Dean's List, whether 1 or 2 semesters, reflects achievement of excellence. And particularly for the students in the fall of 2011, when the standards rose a little bit. We raised the standards to get into York a few years ago, and we also thought we would raise the standards to get out. We would raise the standards for the Dean's List, raise the standards for cum laude, summa cum laude, and magna cum laude. And so the fact that you have achieved means that you've achieved at a higher round of the ladder, and that is signally important. But whenever I think of excellence in the context of achievement, I'm reminded of a philosopher whose work I've embraced since my undergraduate days, and it's something I've taken out of something he said and even put it in one of those Provost's favorite quotes. Someone who wants to get another $100 can maybe pop up and tell me who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Aristotle. Now, who is your favorite professor? This guy, Tom Moore, is going to have a lot of money to give to people. Go to Tom Moore, tell him you earn at least $50, and he's going to give you two. And tell him you want it in U.S. currency because you don't want any, or euros. If he has euros, you'll take euros. Here is what, for me, is important to remember when you think about excellence, what Aristotle said. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, it's a habit. Let me repeat it. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, it's a habit. What Aristotle was suggesting, what I want to recommend that you remember, is that excellence is not a one-event achievement. It's about habituation. And so the fact that you are on the Dean's List, you should not feel completely satisfied about excellence. You should be motivated to sustain. If you get all B pluses, you want to pursue to get A minuses. If you get A minuses, you want to try to earn, and I say earn, not simply get, full A's. It's about habituating, not simply getting one time. But I think it's also true to say that when we think of excellence, it's important to recognize that there is a wholeness to excellence. You can't be an excellent student only in Professor Myritz's class and say, I'm not going to be an excellent student in Professor Schmeichel's class. You can't be an excellent student on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays and say, well, I'll do mediocrity Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays. You can't afford to be an excellent student and be a lousy parent if you're a parent. You can't afford to be an excellent student to be a lousy spouse if you're a spouse. Excellence has a wholeness to it. And as you celebrate your excellence, I think it's important to recognize that there is a habituation that is required of it, and that there is a wholeness that is required of you as well. And so I want to applaud all our students who have achieved, whether 1 or 2 semesters, who have achieved the Dean's List. And I simply want to encourage you to remember not only what Isaac Newton said in celebrating and recognizing your giants, but remember Aristotle, who talked about habituation of excellence, who talked about wholeness of excellence. Congratulations.
Thank you, Provost Griffith. I'm so glad I didn't leave my wallet there. Now, the Vice President of Student Government, Ms. Murshida Islam, will bring greetings on behalf of student government.
Good afternoon, Honorable President Keyes, even though she's not here, Provost Griffith, Dean Malatis, Vice President Walker Johnson, and Dean Gibson, and other honorable guests. I'm here on behalf of the student government, your college. My name is Murshida Islam, Vice President of Student Government. Would like to congratulate all of the students who is present here on the Dean List reception. I feel very delighted. I'm too short for that.
Slow down. Don't try to go so fast. Take your time.
Okay. I feel very delighted and honored to be here today, and would like to thank all of the members of the Dean List who's sitting here, who invited me to this wonderful invitation. Before moving further, please take a moment and give a big applause to yourself, because you deserve it. You are the inspiration for me as a student and for others too. An honor such as this is a wonderful way for the school and the community to recognize and celebrate the choices and sometimes the sacrifice that you have made. But I believe that what should make you and your parents the most proud is not the actual honor itself, but also what you have done to get this recognition. Because any recognition is just like the icing of the cake, not to be expected, but definitely to be enjoyed. We have come to this institution to educate ourselves and explore the world of academic studies. And this will be possible if, as students, we work diligently and achieve our dreams and be successful in our life. And it's all start from here. Remember, our achievement is our college achievement. Therefore, it's our responsibility to keep our good job for ourselves and for our college. In this college, we're like a family. The professor, staff, of course, the student government members too. So please, everyone, if you have any kind of concerns or difficulties, come to us in 1G04C and see us. And I promise you, my fellow senators and I will work hard to work with you. Also, in this honorable day, I would like to share another exciting news for all the scholars here, that we are giving us, we have established some scholarship for everyone. So also we are going to have an event which would be known as Scholarship Awareness Day. Right now, we are working for it. However, you could just come to us and see us and know all the information about it. It's also going to be on the website and in our plasma TVs. Also, if you just, also our posters of the events will be there everywhere around the school. So please keep your eyes onto those great opportunities. Finally, I would like to congratulate all of you once again for your honor. You are best of the best. Enjoy yourself, and always remember that your success will take you to the next step of achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Islam. Our next speaker will be introduced by Dean Clark, Ms. Christina Gard.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You get it, I don't get it. I really, before I introduce our next speaker, I really want to congratulate all of the students that are here today for your academic excellence. Would you stand so we can give you a round of applause? Thank you. And I'd also like to recognize two other groups. And I know Provost Griffith had mentioned them, but I'd really like to also give a round of applause and standing. The parents, the significant others, the husbands, the wives, the children of these students. Could you please stand? Thank you. I just want to say to you, if you had not given support, your sons and daughters would not be here today. And last but not least, I want our academic faculty to stand up, because here at York, they're the ones who support you every day through your academic endeavors. And the staff. Thank you. Now it is with great pleasure and an honor that I introduce a York student, a student that I believe really signifies the best of what we hope all York students will aspire to in their academic endeavors. Christina Gard is an honor student. She has been Dean's List for almost every semester. She is also a scholar merit, a merit scholar. She has been inducted into the National Honor Society for Psi Chi Honor Society, and she achieves academically very excellent in everything she does. She is a psychology major and will be graduating, I think, one more semester, and will be really becoming more active next semester in doing an internship research project in psychology and working in the psychology labs. The thing that's interesting about Christina, and I think about probably you students in the audience, is you find time to give back to the York community. Christina is a leader and a member of several groups of clubs on campus. She's a member of the Latin Caucus. She's a member of the Haitian Student Association, and she is also a member of the Red Shoes, which she can explain that to you, and she is on the crew for the Cardinals. So can we give a round of applause for Christina?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate you all on making it on the Dean's List, whether it be your very first time or your last if you are to graduate. It is an honor to be standing here today giving you all greetings. I would like to thank President Keyes, Provost Griffith, Dean Melitis, Dean Clark, Dean Notoko, and all the chairs and faculty members present today. I never expected a great opportunity like this to come my way, but I can honestly say I'm very thankful for it. If I were asked a month ago, did I see this coming? My response would obviously be a no. But I believe that the best things happen unexpectedly, and this is definitely one of those. Like myself, there are most of you who not until this day knew what the Dean's List was. You had absolutely no idea why you were on it, what the purpose was to be on it, and quite frankly, what you get from it. Well, today is your lucky day, because I, a fellow Dean's List recipient and merit scholar, will inform you on what it means. I can remember the very first time I made it on the list. It was the fall of 2008, my freshman year. Here I was going into my second semester, and like most of us do once finals are over, we all go check our grades on eSIMs. Well, I decided to check my transcript, and below my grades for the fall semester, I'd see it says Dean's List. I said to myself, am I in trouble already? It's only been one semester, that's impossible. I went to every class, got amazing grades, and managed to not fall asleep. There has to be a mistake here. So I decided to wait to see if anything will happen, and behold, something wonderful happened. It was a yellow envelope in the mail, with my name on it, of course. And inside that envelope, there was a beautiful certificate congratulating me on making it in the Dean's List. From that moment on, I knew that it wasn't a bad thing to be on the Dean's List, but it's actually pretty awesome. The question that needs to be asked this afternoon is, what is the Dean's List? We could be here all day getting each and everyone's own view on what they think it is, but that would demand that we be here all day, and I know this is not what we all want. And so I will tell you what I believe it is. The Dean's List is a list created to recognize those that perform at a high level. That doesn't mean you have to be a genius or have a 4.0 GPA, but it simply means that you aren't looking to barely pass. Your mentality has to be that getting a C in this class doesn't sit too well with me. Yes, there are times when we all have that one class or that one semester where our performance isn't as good as it could have been, but that shouldn't affect you for the following semesters. Being on the Dean's List should make each and every one of you feel special, because not only are you being recognized for doing well for the past semesters, but that you deserve it. There are some that ask, do I get anything from this besides your certificate? Well, you do. This will be on your permanent transcript, meaning once you are done here, wherever you go, whether it be grad school, med school, or law school, it will be seen. And for those that already know, we all get pins, so it's pretty fun. Overall, my experience here at York has been nothing but fun. Did I ever imagine myself attending York? Honestly, it never crossed my mind. But it wasn't the worst thing that happened to me. Yes, there have been times that I felt that I wouldn't be able to find my true self. But in the end, it all turned out the way it should have, and I had my advisor and counselor, but most importantly, my mentor, Ms. Almodovar, for it all. Being a merit scholar gave me the opportunity to meet her and have her guide me throughout these 4 amazing years. She helped me in every possible way she could, and if it wasn't for her believing in me, I wouldn't be standing here today in front of you all. That is why when I say great opportunities happen unexpectedly, it should be something you all take into consideration, because you might be the next person standing up here a part of the President's Party as a representative of the Dean's List students. I would like to leave you with these last few words. If there is a time that you feel that you are a failure and that you can't improve, just remember, you did make it on the Dean's List once, so you can definitely do it again. This isn't rocket science, it's simply believing in oneself and the level that you can perform in. So if you have friends that think they would never make it, just tell them it is possible once you believe in it. Once again, congratulations to you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Griffard. And now it's my great pleasure to welcome and introduce to you Ms. Reno Raffley. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Ms. Raffley earned her BA in psychology at York, graduating in June of 2007. She completed her master's degree in organizational behavior in 2011 at NYU Polytech. And most recently, she has joined us in the psychology discipline as a part-time faculty member teaching for us. Now, Ms. Raffley.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope you don't doze off yet. Okay, so President Keyes, who is not here with us today, Provost Griffith, Dean Milites, Dean Clark, Dean Toko, department chairs, faculty and staff, and Dean's List students. Good afternoon once again. I feel very honored to have the chance to stand here in front of you celebrating your achievement. The book that has been selected as part of the Freshman Reader Program 2012, The Namesake, resonates well with me. Just like Gogol Ganguly, I too have difficulties growing up with my name, Reno Raffley, Reno. Reno is actually considered to be a male name in Indonesia, and here people usually associate it with gambling city, Reno, Nevada. I do not even gamble. Then, when they see what I look like, the way I dress, they see a dissonance between my name and what I represent. Since my name does not have any Arabic roots. I've never been to the Middle East before, nor do I speak and understand the language. In the past, I sometimes wish that my parents would name me differently. I became so accustomed in preparing a lengthy explanation about my name. Yes, it comes from my mother's tribal language, and yes, it means shine. I guess I never really realized that the uniqueness of my name and the trials and tribulations that goes with it describes what my life is all about, the challenge to define my own identity, my own path. So, I would like to share my thoughts and personal story with you. It's about the courage to define yourself. About 5 years ago, I was still a York student, just like you. I've gained so many things, not only the knowledge, but also friendships and the power of having a strong support system. I remember taking a philosophy class with Dr. Howard Rottenberg, for whom I learned about thinking critically and looking beyond what's in front of me. I met my best friend when taking an organizational behavior course with Dr. William Ashton. And most importantly, I found what I really love to learn, learning the psychological aspect of business. I did my internship course by taking Dr. Shiriko's course, whom I always look forward to do my in-depth discussion with. about my internship. These professors, whom I still keep contact with even during my graduate school, along with other faculty, have inspired me to go above and beyond and to put forth my effort in defining what I would like to become. In the end, I graduated with magna cum laude, an achievement that I would not dare to dream 10 years ago. With my undergraduate degree, I was so excited to embark on my own professional journey. I then started a full-time job at an international engineering firm at their corporate human resources office. I was so eager to learn as much as I can about HR and to prove that I can be a valuable asset to the company. Fortunately, my hard work paid off that I received a promotion within 6 months of employment. At that company, I learned so much from my supervisors and coworkers. However, the more I learned about the company and my profession, the more I was curious to learn about the strategy and the solutions to the problems I face on a daily basis. My curiosity became so insatiable that I finally made a decision to go back to school for my master's degree. I was so thrilled that I got accepted to the organizational behavior program at NYU Poly. From then on, my life became busier than ever. I was going to school full-time and working full-time while being a mom of 2 young boys. Some people thought I was out of my mind. People that are close to me, though, thought I was making the right decision. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. I knew that this was my chance to complete my graduate school. I knew that this was my chance to define myself and define my family's future. However, I remember vividly there were some days that I didn't feel I can make it. I remembered wanting to give up during the hot summer days when I had to go to the campus from work while I was 9 months pregnant. I remembered crying in the middle of the night, trying to put my newborn to sleep while finishing up my essay that was due the next day. I remembered weeks of sleepless nights working my final research project. These were the times where I needed support the most. I was so fortunate to be surrounded by supportive people. I would call my parents and they would say, "Don't give up. Take it one day at a time." I would call my coworker and she would say, "You can do it. I know you can." And my husband would say, who is here with me today, "You're almost done. Finish what you started. You will regret it if you don't." I remembered one of my professors said, "You have the power within you to change your present and build your future. Do not let your negative thoughts impede your judgment of what is needed to be done." These supports and my motivation to create a better life for my children were so powerful that I was able to defy the odds by completing my graduate school on time with a top graduating GPA in my program. I remember during my commencement ceremony as I was walking towards the stage, I thought about the woman who must work to support her family and had no spare time for her education. I thought about the woman who had to raise still children at home and had no spare time for herself, for the woman who never get a chance to gain an education, and for the woman who has no voice in the society. I said to myself, I represented them and I was walking on their behalf. In the end, college education has given me not only a tremendous amount of knowledge, but also the tools to live life to the fullest. My graduate school professor and advisor once said to me, "The most important thing that you need to learn is learning how to learn." I didn't understand it then, but now I do. Knowing how to learn means knowing how to live. This year, I'm honored to return to your college as an adjunct faculty. It felt so good to be back. My hope that I am here not only to teach, but also to share experience so that you too can learn from it and define your own journey. For the faculty, staff, family, and friends, please know that your support big or small, even just a pat in the back, meant so much for these students. Knowing that you believe in them will actually provide them a motivation to move forward, however rough the path may be. And my message to you, Dean's List awardees, congratulations on your accomplishments. Remember that you represent others that may not have the opportunities like you. Remember that knowledge means power. No one can take it away from you. You have defied the odds by striving to excel at what you do. Continue to strive, never settle for less. Seek opportunities, create opportunities, build your strong support system, and in return, be their support system. Accept failures and setbacks as your chance to learn and go further. Continue to define yourself, define your future, be the change agent. Now is the time to define the world that you live in. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rafley. It's a hard act to follow. We have a couple of announcements that we'd like to share with you. First, from Ms. Brunilda Almodovar, who will talk a little bit about the scholarship program.
Congratulations, everyone on the Dean's List. And I would like to encourage you to take advantage now of this opportunity for you to apply for scholarships, because financial aid in the future looks very dim. And you all need money, not just to pay for your tuition, to pay for your books, just to pay for you to go to school, travel, and everything else. There is money out there for you. Right now we're featuring the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship, and for those of you that don't know, we have had several winners in the past, as high as $10,000, on the average up to $4,400. So we've had some serious winners from that. Their deadline is May 1st. Citizen Bank also, April 1st, is opening up their application. And as it was mentioned, student government, we're working with them to hopefully have a scholarship for next semester. In the meantime, I invite you to go to our website. We have a scholarship survey that you can fill out. That is the application if you want to be considered for this scholarship. So while we're working out the details, apply, okay? And if anything else comes up, you will also be considered for that. So congratulations again, and take advantage of this opportunity, okay?
Thank you, Ms. Almodovar. A second announcement from Mr. Michelle Hodge, Executive Director of Enrollment Management.
Congratulations, everyone. Do you know what the York College mascot is? Dean's List students should know this right away. What is it? What is it? Okay, when I say York, you say Cardinal really loud for me, okay? York. These are Dean's List, folks. And let me tell you why I want you to say it with some enthusiasm. Because we are proud of you. You have accomplished one of the most difficult and rewarding things you can do at the college, which is to have a GPA worthy of being on the Dean's List. And so we are very proud of you, but we want you to be proud of where you are. You're at York College, and your mascot is the Cardinal. So when I say York, I want to hear Cardinal like you're proud of what you've done, and also that you're proud of your institution. So let's try it one more time. York? Cardinal. That's much better. Great, great. So let me tell you really quickly what York can stand for. Y-O-R-K can stand for a lot of things. But for me, in this situation, it stands for these things. York. The Y stands for you and your professors. You have done a lot of work over the last few semesters, and it is amazing to see that there's so many of you here today to celebrate those achievements. The O is for other people. And I'm not going to dwell too much on the other people because they've gotten their shout outs already, but they are here with you, and some of them are at home, and some of them are your classmates. Make sure that you recognize them and what they did for you to get to this point. I rushed through the first two because I want to get to the R, which is requirements, but I like to call it expectations. You have risen to an expectation. People rise to expectations when they are presented to them. And some of you are on the dean's list, but you heard about this cum laude, magna cum laude, summa cum laude. There's an expectation that all of you in this room will finish with one of those designations on your degree. So I'm challenging you to rise to that requirement, rise to that expectation. And the K is for keep up the good work, okay? Really simple. And why I'm making this announcement is I'm giving you an opportunity for the K. The opportunity for the K is that York gives you not only a fall and a spring semester to register and achieve those GPAs that you had, but we give you a winter and coming up a summer session in which you not only can keep that GPA, it's an opportunity for you to improve that GPA. And so this summer we have many classes, some that end in the month of June, so it's not like you're extending your school year that long, but you can really do a lot to improve your GPA. And so later when you leave and you're eating, because I don't want to stand between you and eating much longer, there will be some students from the Cardinal crew who have some flyers about the summer session. I want you to pay attention to the back of the flyer. It's the story of students just like you who have taken advantage of summer sessions and have improved their GPAs. Thank you, and before I leave, can I hear that Cardinal one more time? York? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. And one more announcement. We've heard a great deal today about research opportunities, internship opportunities, and of course the work you do with your professors in the classroom, in field sites. Coming up on April 19th, you have an extraordinary opportunity to share that work that you do on Student Research Day. So if you have yet to register and put forward a project, I encourage those of you who are working on such issues to do that, to share what you have learned with the rest of us. And finally, before we enjoy our refreshments, I'd like to single out and thank some folks on the Dean's List Committee for their work organizing the celebration. The Department of Safety, you can thank them. The Office of the Registrar, who had to figure out all those GPAs. The Printing Shop. IT Services. And of course, Culinart, who's going to feed us in a few minutes. And once again, all of the York College faculty and staff who work to make this event for you today. Once again, thank you, congratulations, and now let's celebrate.